Welcome back to the Baha Marhoop Summer League. Chris Sylvester alongside Chad Brendel from BearcatJournal.com as we get ready to open up the Jared Calhoun era. Is that fair to say? I mean, this isn't the real thing, but we're a few months from the real thing. These guys are dressed in Cincinnati uniforms. We've got a regulation court. There's another college team from Canada, the Victoria Vikes on the other side. What do you look forward to the most about this new era of Bearcat hoops?
Cincinnati for 40 years has been identified with defense, physicality, toughness. Jared Calhoun is a top 25 or better offensive mind in basketball. It's going to be a different era for Cincinnati in terms of getting used to being a little bit better on offense, although not quite great there on that lob.
Well, I don't think they'll be defined by their first Summer League possession in the Jared Calhoun era. Obviously, a lot of success for Coach coming over from Utah State, kind of continuing what, you know, has been a great run for that Utah State program. Doesn't really seem to matter who's the head coach there in Logan. They find ways to win and get to the tournament.
They have a system, they have a plan, and it never hurts when you're one of the top spenders in your league, but they do that and they do it efficiently.
There's Jaden Hastings, newcomer from Boston College.
Big, long, physical, reminds you kind of a Kelvin Sampson big in his body type, his length, his energy. Will be interesting to see if he can up his offensive performance this year. Victoria
playing its second Division I opponent, second Power Conference opponent. They put 88 on Texas A&M in a high-scoring game yesterday. 112-88 was that final score. Some accomplished three-point shooters on this Victoria squad. And I think the thing you'll notice as Cincinnati embarks on a couple of exhibitions against Canadian college teams is the Bearcats are going to have the depth, the height, and the athleticism advantage. That being said, there's still some talented basketball on the other side. There's still some schematics, and that young man, Shaden Smid, is quite the athlete.
That's when I was talking to some of the Cincinnati coaches about who I needed to watch for. He was by far the name that came out of everybody's mouth first, Shaden Smid, and you saw it right there. He knows how to finish.
Cincinnati second effort here as Miles Colvin pops from the corner. Miles Colvin is no stranger to this gym. Hit a big buzzer beater here in a Wake Forest uniform not long ago, last November, to beat Memphis at the buzzer.
He's had a great summer in 5-on-5 action over the last 3 weeks. He's shooting almost 70% from three.
Elijah Perryman also followed Jared Calhoun from Utah State. As Cincinnati retakes an early 2-point lead here against the Victoria Vikes from north of the border in Canada. That's Cam Slaymaker knocking down the corner three.
That is the question with this defense, is their ability to close out in the corners.
Wow, Smid almost finished off the lob. It's going to give Cincinnati a chance in transition, and MJ Collins throws it down. How big was the addition just for the confidence of the fan base when the MJ Collins news got announced a little bit later here in the summertime?
Yeah, big for everybody, because I think they did a great job putting a roster together, but I don't know that there was anybody that really you could look at and say, this is our go-to guy. With MJ Collins, you can look at him and say, this is our go-to guy.
Elijah Perryman with Cincinnati's first downtown hit, and Victoria takes timeout. 9-5 start here for the Cats at the Baha Marhoop Summer League. Cincinnati a 9-5 lead over the Victoria Vikes in the Bearcats' first exhibition game here at the Baha Hoops Summer League. Cincinnati 4 of its first 6 from the field as they come away with another takeaway, and MJ Collins hammers it through. You talk about that defensive intensity. You can see Cincinnati employing full court pressure as they nearly force another turnover. Instead, Cole Beckering winds up turning it over anyway when it was all said and done. Miles Colvin, such an explosive finisher, and gets fouled on his way. The one-time Purdue Boilermaker and Wake Forest Demon Deacon will take the first Cincy free throws here in the Bahamas. When you look up and down this roster, we mentioned no scholarship returners from a previous era of Cincinnati basketball under Wes Miller, who's doing just fine for himself on his feet with the Charlotte 49ers in North Carolina now. But obviously, with how loaded the Big 12 is and the expansion of the NCAA tournament, the expectation has to be to get there in year one under Jared Calhoun.
I think if you're at a place like Cincinnati, the expectation is always NCAA tournament. But now with the expanded field, with more opportunities to make it, this is a team that has to have their sights set on that as the bar. Like that's the bar you have to clear.
12-5 the lead for Cincinnati after Colvin's trip to the free throw line. He goes 1 for 2. 2 years at Purdue for Miles Colvin. Last year under Steve Forbes in the ACC at Wake Forest, and now perhaps finishing up his college career.
He's got another year.
Yeah, I mean, with the 5 for 5, you're used to seeing guys going into their senior season. At some point or another, we may just drop the whole freshman, sophomore, junior, senior thing and just refer to guys by what year they're in.
So Cincinnati's already changed on their website: freshman, sophomore, junior, senior, 5th year. That's at least Cincinnati's official terminology.
Get some fresh bodies in the game for Cincinnati. Kai Fleming on his way in. Transfer from Georgia Tech. Played under Damon Stoudemire there last year. Adlin Elamine also in the game. Another Utah State transfer that came to Cincinnati with Jared Calhoun. And there's Elamine letting it fly and ripping the cords on the Bearcats' second first-half tray.
If you're talking about who has the most long-term potential of this bunch, I think it has to start with Adlin Elamine. Long, athletic, can shoot it, skilled. Got to get a little tougher, a little more physical maybe with his game, but the raw physical tools are very clear with Addy.
Eric Mahaffey, an Akron transfer, and Riley Allenspach also in the game here for Cincinnati with Travion Carson, a transfer from North Dakota State. As we take another timeout here with 15.5 minutes left on the first half clock. Nice start for the Bearcats, up 10 over the Victoria Vikes here at the Baha Hoops Summer League. Back at the Baha Mar Hoops Summer League, the second of 4 games we're bringing you today on Flow Sports. Cincinnati's first exhibition. Of course, Bearcats were supposed to play on Sunday, had some travel issues getting down here, so they'll play again tomorrow afternoon before heading home as Travion Carson misses his first attempt. And Cincinnati takes it right back. Fleming lobs. The finish not there for Alan Spach, but a foul called and free throws coming.
Alan Spach, very active. It's going to be interesting with him. He played a lot of back to the basket at George Mason, but this is more of a 5-out system, so he can shoot as he misses a free throw, of course. Can shoot it from the
old
perimeter.
broadcaster's jinx.
It's true as time. But also, there's a great storyline here. Cincinnati has been outside the top 150 in free throw shooting for like 25 years. There's been 1 year that they've been a good free throw shooting team in 25 years. This is a team that is great at the free throw line individually coming to Cincinnati. Will the Cincinnati curse break them?
Well, if this 1-for-4 start from the free throw line tells you anything, some things you just might not be able to always escape.
Some things, maybe it's the uniform. You put it on, you can't shoot free throws.
As long as you're good at, some of the other stuff. That's Justin Heinrichsen missing on a 3.
There's a bunch of Cincinnati fans watching this stream going, I knew it. I knew it.
Alan Spach gets to the easy way.
That's the thing. He's a guy that knows how to make himself big, how to carve out a spot around the basket and make a play. How much is Jared Calhoun going to adjust his offense to maybe give him a little bit more opportunities to be a back-to-the-basket big man?
A takeaway for the Victoria Vikes. And that layup off the glass and good for Justin Heinrichsen, snapping a 13-0 Cincinnati run.
We haven't mentioned so far that the absence of Tylen Riley, who will be joining us here in a little bit, but the absence of Riley with a thumb injury last week in practice gives Elijah Perriman an opportunity at point guard to see what he looks like early, and also gives Akai Fleming, who when MJ Collins was cleared, you kind of wondered if Akai Fleming was going to get lost in the shuffle. Akai Fleming now getting a chance to be the backup point guard.
Cole Beckering cashing in the second Victoria make from the outside as Elamine misses. That's a deep one.
Shooter.
Off the side of the iron from Torrin Franklin, who hit quite a few of those against Texas A&M yesterday.
I was told before the game, if he gets clean looks, there's going to be timeouts and substitutions imminent because he can really shoot it. And deep, too.
Limitless range here in the Bahamas.
He shot that one from the East Tower.
I like that. The blackjack table near the elevators.
I'm a roulette guy.
What numbers have you been hovering here?
3, 7, 10, 17, 25. Those are my 5 numbers.
And how's that going?
Almost even.
Okay.
Which is really all you can ask.
Everyone that says they're almost even, to me, that's like you're up. It's like free entertainment. Hey, we just saw Riley Allen Spach knock in a 3, so we know he can shoot it a little bit. As Cincinnati, Mahaffey gets the steal. Elamine tried to wrap it in, got it altered underneath. Sidestep from Elamine, and he cashes in on a 3. His second.
He came back from, he participated in the Jason Tatum camp a couple weeks ago and came back from the Tatum camp really shooting the ball well at practice, and it's carrying over here to Baha Mar.
Mahaffey, look out below, big finish for the Akron transfer back home in Cincinnati.
Mahaffey, a Moeller graduate, has grown a couple inches since he got to college and really started to develop his frame. This is not what he looked like at Moeller High School. Much different player now, and a big chance for him to be a long-term piece for Jared Calhoun.
Bearcats have built a 15-point lead here. Offensive rebound after the Franklin miss. Beckering picked up by Travion Carson. Beckering misses at the rim. And here come the Bearcats. It's Mahaffey on the move again, and he lays it in.
Credit to that one to Travion Carson. He's a guy I love. North Dakota State, he's kind of underlooked, went to JUCO, then to a smaller school, earned his chance to play up at this level. He was Defensive Player of the Year in the league last year, and rebounds it well, kind of a glue guy, toughness guy that you need for this new Bearcats roster.
Got a timeout here with 10:47 left on the first half clock. Great start for this new look Cincinnati Bearcat team in their exhibition opener.
Cincinnati, right? Oh, I didn't see that. Sorry about it.
Almost halfway through the opening 20 here in Nassau, the Bahamas at the Baha Hoops Summer League. Cincinnati 27-12 over the Victoria Vikes, Canadian collegiate squad. Put 88 on Texas A&M, and what wound up being a lopsided loss, 112-88. Although Victoria did make things interesting down the stretch of that game. Got some starters back on the floor for Cincinnati. And a score inside for David Aweze.
He's an interesting one. Also came with Calhoun from Utah State, but redshirted last year. Big, physical body.
There he is, in transition on the flush.
Only question I've had with him, he's got to work on his hand strength a little bit, but he's got the size, he can pass it. He's got some post moves, his footwork looks solid. Just needs some time, needs some seasoning. Although it doesn't look like it right now, 2 buckets and a steal.
Yeah, it doesn't appear to be any rust after sitting out last year as the three-pointer pops out from Akai Fleming. (31-12). Cincinnati shooting it better than 60% from the field, and they have already forced Victoria into 13 turnovers. As the straight-on three won't go for Ryan Regault. Another one-and-done trip for Victoria. Fleming dashing down the lane and takes a spill after he's fouled.
Fleming's fascinating. He started slow last year at Georgia Tech. But boy, by the end of the year, the last 12, 13 games or so for Georgia Tech, and granted, their offense was pretty bad, but the last 12, 13 games or so, and he really went on a scoring spree and started to figure it out. And he averaged 10.4 points a game on the season, but over 15 points a game over his last 10.
Miles Colvin is on his way back in for Adlin Elamine.
They call him Addy, makes it much easier.
Addy Elamine with a nice showing, 6 points in 7 first-half minutes here coming off the bench. It's a good problem to have, right, when you're trying to figure out the best 5, which might not always be your most talented 5. I mean, there's
which guys fit together.
Yeah, even though we're in this era of seemingly positionless basketball, there still needs to be certain guys with certain skill sets that are on the floor with each other at the same time. That being said, when you get into the Big 12, and if you want to make a run in the NCAA tournament, all the teams that win games in March have depth, right? Yes. They have more than 5 starters.
And that's going to be the big thing for this group. That's why it's really important right now, like we talked about for Elijah Perryman with Tylen Riley out. Can he become another starter-level guy at guard? And which one of the wings backs up Collins and Miles Colvin and steps into that role as well?
Hastings backs his way in. Perryman the extra pass. It's Collins. Misfiring on a 3. Tapped out to Elijah Perryman. Here's Tejada, the transfer from Towson. Perryman feeds Collins, and a late whistle for a foul. And so you've got a little bit of continuity with the guys that played together at Utah State. But now it's about making all the pieces of the puzzle fit together with this group. And there's such a benefit to playing somebody else 3 months out from when games are going to start going on your resume.
Well, at least now you're going to have some tape, see what it looks like, see how it looks when the other guy doesn't know exactly what you're doing, what you're calling on offense, what the assignment is. And you give yourself a little bit more knowledge. And Jared Calhoun, a guy that loves to teach and loves to use those things to get better, it can only help now that you've got somebody in different uniforms that isn't seeing your stuff for the 20th time in 30 days.
Collins misses at the free throw line.
He's like a 90% free throw shooter. He puts on the red and black, can't get him to go down.
Get those misses out of the way in August. Victoria 5 of 13 from the field, but they have turned it over 14 times. Collins lost it on the baseline. The 4th Bearcat turnover. Slaymaker fouled on a 3. Elijah Perryman
Gotta be smarter than that.
Picks it up, and 3 free throws on the other side for the Victoria Vikes. We'll hear from Tylen Riley, transfer from Tulsa on the other side, as he watches his teammates jump out to a 34-12 lead here in the first half at Baha. Back here at the Baha Mar Hoops Summer League, Cincinnati in the midst of a 17-2 stretch to grow their first half lead. It's 34-13 with Cam Slaymaker taking a few free throws out of the timeout. And pleased to be joined by Tylan Riley, one of the newcomers. Everybody's a newcomer on this Cincinnati roster. You guys are opening up a new era of Bearcat basketball. And while I'm sure you're bummed to not be out there with the guys, what's it been like just taking in this whole experience in the Bahamas and watching you guys finally play somebody other than yourselves?
Yeah, it's nothing but exciting. I know I'm not playing, but I'm really excited for the guys. Like, I know they'd be excited for me if they was in my position too. And I just really like this team and like our offense. Like, I really just like to see what we're like against somebody else. It's really exciting.
How much can you learn sitting out and watching how things operate? Maybe where guys like to get the ball from a different perspective.
Yeah, and that's what it is. I'm looking at the game from a different perspective, from a spectator standpoint. And it's really just learning everybody personnel like on another level, like who likes to shoot what, who likes to do what, whose spots is where, and just knowing everybody's personnel. Really.
What's the latest update? How long do you think that injury is going to keep you away from basketball activity? We can see it's heavily wrapped up right now. When are you hoping to get back on the floor with your guys?
I'll be reevaluated in 4 to 6 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to get back as soon as possible with these guys.
Tell us about EP, Elijah Perriman, and what you're seeing from the young guy now that he's adjusting to kind of being point guard #1 for the time.
Well, I told him it's in his future because you're going to be point guard 1 eventually, And right
Not now, though, right?
Yeah, no, not now. But eventually, and he's doing a good job at staying ready. Just going against him, being his teammate and a competitor at practice. Me and him are very similar in ways as far as being a competitor. And I just think he's doing a very good job at just progressing and just getting better. And I think he's ready for this. And I think this is good for him because you never know. God forbid I could possibly get hurt in a conference game, and he's going to have to come in and run the show. He's just going to have to be ready to do that.
Take us through the journey that's been your college career. Rick Croy, Dom Daniels, couple years at CBU in SoCal, and then last year in Oklahoma at Tulsa, and now you're playing in the Big 12. What's that progression been like for you? Because the landscape of college hoops has changed so much since your first year in Riverside. Yeah. What's it been like just going from, being a freshman at CBU to where you are now, getting ready for your 4th college season in the Big 12 at Cincy?
It's been a crazy story, as you can see. I don't think the WAC is even a conference anymore.
It's not. CBU's in the Big West now.
Yeah, so it's been a crazy story, crazy progression story. I don't know. Yeah, it's been crazy. Starting off from the WAC freshman year, not even starting, to sophomore year, starting, not even playing the whole season and playing the last 13 games, to supposed to be a backup at Tulsa, beating a guy out the spot, starting the whole year, having the year I had, and now at the Big 12. I just feel like I'm ready for what's to come because the work's going to show up, So.
What changed for you? What was it that the light went on that you said, I'm ready for another, a big jump and to take my game to a different level? What's up with Miles? 70% in practice. He's missed 2.
He's going to miss 2, but he's going to make the rest. I'll tell you that.
Okay.
But back to your question, the light bulb, I would say, because I put in a lot of work on the offseason. As the summer goes on, I work on something new more and more. Every summer, I get better at something else every summer. And this summer, last summer, I just felt like I was just ready to face any type of competition. And I felt like I showed that last season. No matter what conference the team was in, I was going to perform.
Well, that was halfway down for Miles Colvin. Relentless effort here on the offensive glass, and going to get some free throws for Kai Fleming. Your first collegiate head coach, he's in the Big 12 now.
He is. I can't wait to face him.
Arizona State, that's going to be circled on your calendar?
Yes. I can't wait. I can't wait. I cannot wait. He's an assistant coach now, right?
He is. He's associate under Randy Bennett. Talking about Rick Croy, of course.
Yeah.
So we're chatting with Tylen Riley, who's sitting out, recovering from an injury. Going to be reevaluated here in 4 to 6 weeks. So, you know, we're 3 months out or so, a little less than that actually, from the start of the regular season. As you guys are starting to get to know each other more, where do you feel like the big leap is for you guys as a team to, you know, obviously get to the tournament, but make some noise in March as well?
I feel like we have the talent to do so. We have everybody on this team who could pass, dribble, and shoot at an elite level. It's really just being connected. It's really just knowing everybody's game. And, you know, an event like this would help a lot. In those exhibition games we have coming up, those are going to help a lot going into, you know, when it matters, conference play. I feel like we have the talent to do so. It's really just getting our chemistry, and that just comes with time. And it's going to build up over time.
How much chemistry do you build on a 36-hour Cincinnati to Chicago to Tulsa to Houston to the Bahamas travel experience?
More than you know. You're going to look at your teammate and wake up and look at him, go to sleep, look at him every day. So you have no choice but to build chemistry. Whether it's, hey, do you want to get some lunch, or, hey, we got to be down at the film room in 10 minutes.
Had you been to the Bahamas previously?
I never have. It's my first time. And I couldn't miss it. Couldn't miss it watching these guys. And one. And one. Nah, I couldn't miss it for the world, especially watching these guys. Gotta support my teammates. These are my guys. And I only been with them for like, what, 2 months, and it just feels like they're already family.
What was the big selling point on, you know, picking Cincinnati when you went in the portal, and obviously playing for a perennial winner in Jared Calhoun?
First and foremost, God led me here. Second, I gotta say coaching staff, because what stood out about Calhoun was just, he's a winner. He's a winner. Like other coaches, like they worry about other schools. He worries about his own organization, and he knows what he's doing. Like, he has his own scheme, own game plan. He doesn't change it up for nobody. And I just love being around winners.
What was the trip to Oklahoma for the spring game? You tried to throw it, you committed to Cincinnati, then there were reports you went to Oklahoma for the spring game. Were you just taking a free trip? Put you on the spot now. You didn't think I knew about that, did you?
Nah, I was just going about my recruiting process, and I just committed when I committed. Just know I'm a Bearcat now.
Got him. Tell me about Travion Carson, the toughness and physicality that he brings to this team.
You know, that's what stood out about me when we first played. Like, he's just a very smart player. Like, his defense is obviously his strong suit, but he just knows the game. He has a great feel for the game. And, like, that's a good guy to have on the team. Like, when I'm suited up with him, I look to my side and I see him on my team. Like, I'm very confident that we're going to come out victorious.
Lots to like about this Cincinnati roster. Already up 30 points in this game. In the final 3 minutes of the first half, we're chatting with Tylen Riley. And already a lot to be excited about among the guys on the floor. Where do you fit in with this group on the floor? Like, what do you expect your role to be on this team?
A leader that just does whatever you need him to. If you need me to score, I can do that. If you need me to just facilitate, I can do that. Rebound, do that. Guard very well, I can do that. Or if you need all of the above, I can do that too. But with these guys, like, everybody's just so good, it's just so easy to fit in. Everybody's so good, has a great foot for the game. We move the ball very well. Anybody can just come in here and just, if you play the right way and you have a great foot for the game, anybody could just come in here, put on a jersey, and play for Cincinnati under Calhoun.
How fun is this offense to learn? With
It's
the motion,
so fun.
the activity.
Oh, man, he went off the backboard for that one.
He's supposed to get that. That's a good
I think he
look.
surprised him.
Yeah,
He was ready
He
for
did.
it.
He did.
A lot of opportunities to get out and run in this game. I think you would have had a couple flushes by now.
Oh, what? Tear that rim down. We out and running. But, you know, that's what we like to do. We like to just guard that ball and just play in transition and only have to call plays if we have to.
Tylen Riley, we appreciate your time, man. Heal up soon. We look forward to seeing you out there.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me.
53-18, we step aside with 94 seconds left in the half. .94 seconds left in the first half. Cincinnati 15 straight points across the last 5 minutes. And up big on the Victoria Vikes, 53-18. Off balance shot from Smid won't go, but a foul on the Bearcats. Just the third against Cincinnati this half. We'll keep it on this end. Great to chat with Tylen Riley. I'm sure that was, you know, a little bit of an introduction to some Cincinnati fans that are just really checking out this team and getting a pulse on where the basketball program is this time of year.
Well, I mean, if you're tuning in, the story's supposed to be offense. This Victoria team can score the basketball.
88 on A&M yesterday.
They just crossed 20 with a minute left in the half. The defense has been pretty impressive so far. They have made things tough. And we're at, what, 18, 19 turnovers? 19 turnovers so far in the first half for Victoria. This defense wants to play in the passing lanes. They want to be active. They want to get up and down the floor. It has been on full display so far tonight.
Bearcats also at 52% from the field with 5 first half three-point makes. Grant Derbyshire's in the game, as well as Deshaun Baden.
Boy, and we'll save this for the second half in case we need some filler. Deshaun Baden's story is incredible.
I think we do. We will need some filler.
Probably going to need some filler.
Mahaffey. 2 free throws coming. We'll also be joined by the head honcho of Cincy Athletics, director of athletics in the second half.
John Cunningham will stop in. We'll get him with the hard-hitting questions.
Oh, boy.
Probably not. Probably not. Softball season here in the Bahamas.
Oh, pickleball season. Roulette season for you.
Yeah, I dabble. Play a lot, but I dabble. It's my game of choice. I get too frustrated with blackjack.
I feel you.
Dealer gets hot. It's too frustrating for me. I'm a bad loser. Roulette, I can't really blame anybody. The ball, you're going to get mad at the ball?
No. The wheel.
The wheel.
The person that rolled the ball.
Well, yeah, I do the video. I don't do the live one. I do the video one.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Then you could go at your own pace.
Right.
Final half minute here for Cincinnati. It's opening half of exhibition basketball. They'll play Calgary tomorrow, a team that just lost to Arkansas earlier today.
Arkansas looks good and didn't really see Jordan Smith today, who I watched quite a bit with Team Takeover on the AAU circuit. He is incredible.
Yeah, he's the real deal. He's going to be a top 5 pick next summer.
I saw him, I think it was his sophomore year, playing 17U, playing with the seniors. That's a grown man at 15, 16 years old. He is just so physically strong and developed.
Final 5 seconds of this first half. Tyler Felt at the free throw line for the Vikes of Victoria. 2 more games to bring you tonight on FloCollege. Texas A&M will play its second exhibition, followed by Valpo. You ever going to hear Valpo and not think of the Drew shot?
Always, forever and always.
Time runs out here in the first half. Lots to be excited about for this new era of Bearcat hoops under Jared Calhoun. Cincinnati shoots 50%. They hold Victoria to 26%, and it's a 55-22 halftime score here at the Baha Hoops Summer League. Start of the second half at the Baha Mar Hoops Summer League. It's Cincinnati 55, the Victoria Vikes 22. Chris Sylvester, Chad Brendel from BearcatJournal.com with you here on Flow Sports. Miles Colvin, the takeaway. Look out below, an open runway, and a hammer for Miles Colvin.
I think the Victoria coaching staff is going to have a few conversations about stopping the ball. Nobody got in the way of Miles Colvin, and he said, okay, I'll take it to the front of the rim and put it down emphatically.
Reverse layup won't go on the inside. Deshaun Vaden provided the defense. Not him, rather. Jaden Hastings provided the defense down there. Hastings, the BC transfer.
Change in the starting lineup. Akai Fleming starts the second half at point guard. And Tyler Tejada getting involved. Didn't see much of him in the first half.
I was just about to ask you, what do you expect him to bring to this roster?
Consistency. Anytime you can get a conference player of the year, even if it's from a smaller conference, you know that guy's got some talent. He started off really hot in the first couple weeks of the summer. He's cooled off a little bit, but he's ready now.
Yeah, he's heating up again. The Towson transfer from Teaneck in New Jersey.
Had a little bit of it's sophomore year. He wins Conference Player of the Year. Junior year, a little bit of a step back. Wasn't as efficient. I think they asked maybe a little too much of him at Towson year 2. But, I mean, he's got a chance to be a significant contributor from the 4 spot for the Cincinnati team, especially with his shooting touch.
What do you know about the regular season schedule this year as Hastings throws it down off the feed from Akai Fleming?
They catch a break. They get Arizona, Houston, and Kansas all at Fifth Third Arena and don't have to make a return trip.
Well, I don't know. They looked pretty good at Kansas last year.
They did look pretty good in the Fog last year. That is not something that I think that was the worst conference loss ever for Kansas in the Big 12.
You want to talk about a bystander turning on that game and having to kind of do a little bit of a double take?
What is happening? What's going on?
Trying to figure that out among this sequence on the floor right now.
A lot of deflections in that segment. Didn't really turn into anything, but the ball was touched a lot by the Cincinnati defense.
Full line change here for the Bearcats. 5 off, 5 on for Jared Calhoun. It's interesting, we've seen a number of other Division I teams obviously here this week, as we've talked about, and every coach goes about managing minutes differently.
Yeah.
You've seen Calhoun kind of just mix and match with 5 different guys on the floor at a time, and then kind of pick and choose among who gets taken out of the game a little bit later on.
Yeah, it looked like it started both halves. Here's your first group, here's your second group, and then let's look and see how some guys look in different rotations, in different settings together. And, I don't know that there's any one specific right way to do it. Just a matter of having a plan and sticking to it, kind of.
There's some contact on the inside as Riley Allenspach, the George Mason transfer, fouled.
He's not going to wow you with his quickness, but he's efficient. He gets to his spot. He's consistent in his effort and his movement. He's an ideal kind of change of pace to Jaden Hastings. You see what you get. You know what you get with Hastings as a defender, a rim protector, an energy guy, and then Allenspach comes in and gives you some skill and some shooting, and there he goes from the line. Waiting, he's a better free throw shooter than he's shown today. But again, you put on that Cincinnati uniform, free throws all of a sudden become a much tougher task than they have your entire life. I've been watching it for the entire 20 years I've been covering this program. I don't think Manu Bol could have caught that one.
Maybe Taco Fall.
Maybe.
Wemby.
Yeah, Wemby could have got it.
Wemby's a different breed.
You could have put it on the top of the backboard, and Wemby could have went up there and got it.
4 minutes into this second half, Cincinnati 65-31. Elijah Perryman misses on the runner. Slaymaker drawing some contact, and free throws coming here for Victoria.
Now we see it on the Cincinnati side. You got to step up and stop ball. You can't let the ball handler in the open court get to 7-8 feet without any resistance. You're going to foul. You're going to give up a basket. You're not looking at a positive outcome when you allow somebody to get that deep in transition and nobody steps up and forces them in a different direction.
Free throws good for Slaymaker, the 6'4" guard from British Columbia, from Coquitlam in BC. Alan Spotch, halfway down. Intercepted by Mahaffey. Elamine on a bounce. Alan Spotch missed it inside, trying to wrestle away the loose ball. And the possession arrow will keep it with the Bearcats on the other side. 15-33. It's 65-33, Cincinnati. .33 on the second half clock. The Baha Mar Hoops Summer League, Cincinnati's unofficial Jared Calhoun debut. We're joined by John Cunningham, Director of Athletics at Cincinnati, kind enough to take some time away from watching hoops and hopefully getting a little beach and pool time in. I mean, it's a business trip, but hopefully you're enjoying your time here at Baha Mar.
Yeah, it's hard not to, right? I mean, it's a beautiful place, obviously, and anytime you can be around the student athletes and kind of watch them bond and build camaraderie and start to form a team, it's fun to see. So it's been a lot of fun.
Obviously, it was a big offseason for this men's basketball program. You bring in Jared Calhoun, and you know, in this ever-changing college hoops landscape, you bring in a new coach, and it's a full new cast of characters. What was the search like, and what ultimately led you guys to land on Jared Calhoun?
Yeah, I mean, clearly he was a hot commodity in the world of college coaching and had so much success at Youngstown State and then at Utah State. So somebody that we knew about, obviously, had connections to UC. Those are the things that we knew about. But really, it was getting around him and just seeing the type of leader that he is, the vision that he had for the program, you know, kind of the way he runs his program top to bottom that really sold us. You know, he's so comfortable in his own skin. He has such belief in what he's going to bring to the table. And that was certainly, you know, exciting when we got around him, and that really sold us.
What's the viewpoint from the athletic director's office when you turn over an entire roster? When you go from, you know, some continuity over the years to now you've got 12, 13 new guys that you got to learn and incorporate into Cincinnati.
Yeah, from an athletic director standpoint, I just know that I've got to do everything I have to give them the resources to go get a really good group of guys together quickly. Because it is, in this new world of transfer portal, it's speed dating. There's a lot that goes into it. There's a lot of administrative things that need to be in place to make sure that we get the right guys on campus and they get out and about and look at the right guys. So really it was just a matter of me trying to make sure that I did everything I possibly could to allow them to pull together a great group, like Elamine, who just hit that three. That guy's got some skills, doesn't he? So it's been fun to see it happen, and what I've been really impressed with is there isn't a single one of these young men that I would say is a problem in any way off the floor, and that's really, really important. And it's, you know, they're all high character guys, top to bottom, and that's the culture that Coach Calhoun has created quickly.
Mick Cronin helped a little bit with this process. How unique is it to have somebody, even as just a sounding board or someone to talk to about a coaching search or whatever, like Mick? Because head coaches elsewhere don't ever really care about the places that they've been before, but Mick is so connected and cares about Cincinnati that he was able to give you some advice on Jared.
He was, and it's so unique specifically because he doesn't have an ulterior motive at all. I mean, he just loves the city. He loves the university. And obviously his dad played baseball at Cincinnati. He just has this affinity for the school, and so he was able to give me a lot of advice just in general from a perspective of like, this is going to work, this isn't going to work, this is why this might be a good fit. He knew Jared really well. He had you know, quite a bit of connections with him over the years, and he couldn't have had more great things to say about him. And it was somebody that I relied on in a couple different conversations throughout the process, you know, I'm really grateful for that.
Now you've been the director of athletics since 2020, is that right?
That's correct, yes.
So you've taken this program through a big change, obviously, moving up to the Big 12, and as you guys kind of cement yourselves as a Big 12 program that's been through a few conference seasons now. How much have the expectations around Cincinnati changed since that move from the American to the Big 12?
I mean, the expectations for us is that we're going to compete for conference championships. And, you know, certainly, you know, we knew going into the Big 12 it was going to be a step up for all of our programs. And we had a lot of discussions with our coaches about that, and with our athletics administration about that. And so, you know, there has been, I think, a little bit of time where we've had to kind of get our feet underneath us a little bit in some ways in this league. It's a very, very difficult league. It's a league that's had a lot of resources for a long time. Remember, we started out in the Big 12 as a half share for 2 years. We started out in the Big 12 without an indoor football facility. There were just some things that we needed to get in place, and now that we have those, we feel like it's time to roll and be at that top level of the Big 12. There's no reason that we can't be, and that's certainly the mentality of Coach Calhoun and others on our staff, that we can go compete with anybody in the Big 12, and that's what we need to do.
That local kid, Mahaffey, has had some great moments here in this exhibition game, and you know, obviously it's important to keep local talent in Cincinnati, right?
100%. I don't know everything, but I came to one practice early on, and I told Coach Calhoun, I said, the guy that really impressed me was Eric Mahaffey, just because I didn't realize how big he was and how quick he was. And he's still such a young guy, and he's going to be one that can help us. But obviously a Moeller product and a Cincinnati kid, and that's always really, really important for us.
How well did your twin sons do predicting the starting lineup for tonight? I know that was a heavy topic of conversation on the way to the Bahamas.
Big topic of conversation. Yeah, they were off a little bit. They missed a few.
They should have listened to me. I told them.
I know. You were on it. They should have called you ahead of time. But I love watching them live the life of a diehard Bearcat fan, and that's what they do. You know, they love these guys. They love these teams that we all watch and cheer for. And so that's, you know, when people ask me about my job, there's a lot of things that are difficult about it. But one thing I love about it is being able to incorporate my family into the world of the Bearcats. It's the best thing I do.
Hey, you get out here and you watch a little basketball and you start to think about what this all might look like come the start of the regular season, and then you kind of forget, like, football starting way before that. What are your hopes as you look ahead to the football season? You got fall camp here starting, with us being in the month of August now, and week 1 is just a hop, skip, and a jump away.
It's amazing how fast the summer went, but it is certainly upon us now, and they get going this week, and I'm really excited about all the things that I've been watching behind the scenes. Obviously, we've talked a lot about the offensive line that we have coming back that we know is really strong. 3 probably future NFL guys on that offensive line, and so then you add the other pieces around it. I think we've improved in the receiver room. I think we've got some great running backs that people haven't seen yet, and then you got a brand new defense with Coach Woody bringing a brand new look on defense. A great amount of time, effort, energy put into filling that defensive backfield specifically with some increased talent. And so we're excited to see that. We got a great linebacker crew coming back. So it's going to be a team that, from top to bottom, I think is more talented than last year. And so let's go out there and compete in the Big 12. Looking forward to it.
Chatting with Cincinnati Director of Athletics John Cunningham as the Bearcats take some free throws. Oweze at the line.
Victoria, second half team, Chris. We saw it with A&M.
Yeah, they're scoring it a little better in the second half.
Scoring a little bit better in the second half than they did in the first. It'll be interesting to see how.
I don't know if they're going to get to the 88 they put on A&M
yesterday. That's a long way to go to 88. Coach, in this new world, how do you evolve? Selling sponsorship patches and on-field advertisements and doing all the things you have to do to keep the program up to speed with everything else that's happening around the country. What's that challenge like?
Well, it's constant every day. I mean, we're looking for opportunities to, expand our revenue and really be progressive and aggressive when it comes to finding new sources of revenue. It's why we brought all of our MMR, which the multimedia rights, which sells all the sponsorship. We brought that all in-house last year, and that's been really, really important to some of the things that we're trying to do. But we've got a great group of people working on it every day, and we're getting out to the business community in Cincinnati and asking for support, and we'll continue to do that. So, we're excited about where that's going and progressing, but we've got to continue to look for new and better ways to increase our revenue. We all know that.
John Cunningham, Cincinnati Director of Athletics, thanks so much for taking some time. Enjoy the hoops. Enjoy the paradise here at Baha.
Well, I appreciate you guys coming down and doing this. It's really important to our program, and go Bearcats.
Thanks, John. Appreciate it.
We'll be back right after this. Back here at the Baha Mar Hoops Summer League. 11:44 left. Cincinnati acing its first test here at the Baha Mar Resort. They'll take on the Calgary Dinos tomorrow. Another team from north of the border.
One of the great mascots of all time, the Dinos.
Are there any D1 teams with the Dino?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so. I'm really good at that stuff. Like, I think any D1 basketball logo, if you just gave me the logo, I think I could tell you what school. I go down those rabbit holes on TikTok sometimes.
Do you remember Kyle Washington?
Sounds very familiar.
Played at NC State, transferred to Cincinnati.
Okay.
Played for Mick Cronin with Troy Copain, Gary Clark, Jacob Evans, Jaron Cumberland group. he could do every school. You tell him the school, he knew the mascot. All 363, he could go through and give you the mascot for everyone.
Now, I don't know if I could give you the mascot, but I think based off the logo, I could at least tell you what school it is. So that's impressive.
Yeah.
Speaking of Gary Clark, he had a nice G League career in Mexico City with the Capitanes down there. I covered him for a couple years.
The nicest guy I think top 3 nicest guys I've ever met doing this over 20+ years. Gary Clark was incredible.
He got a cup of coffee in the association.
He did.
Collins out of the shot fake, going baseline, misses the finger roll. You know, Miles Colvin, I'm sure you Cincinnati fans have learned this quickly. I mean, he's just an explosive athlete, explosive finisher. Was behind some really, really talented guys at Purdue.
Yeah.
And, you know, I thought had a good showing for the most part at Wake Forest. They almost beat Michigan early in the season last year, and Colvin had a great game against them.
I think if you're Jared Calhoun or you're any coach in the transfer portal era, you're looking for guys that have been well coached. Matt Painter, Steve Forbes, he's been taught how to play the right way. And you want to add that as much as you possibly can.
Comes from a football background. His dad, a terrific football player at Purdue. Roosevelt. And I'll tell you, Rosie is always supporting Miles courtside when he can.
I mean, we knew about the explosion and the athleticism. His shooting has been, like I said earlier, now it hasn't translated today because that's just how this works. You talk about how well somebody shot it and then they don't. But he's shot it really well, and if he can give you, you know, a guy that can defend, that can give you some toughness and some leadership, and also be like a, you know, high 30s, low 40% three-point shooter, like you've hit lottery or portal gold.
Catch and shoot off the front rim. Tejada, the rebound for Cincinnati as we cross the halfway juncture of the second half here. And a foul on the pass. That'll be number 3 against the Victoria Vikes as the Bearcats sit 18 points shy of the century mark, something they'll likely reach before it's all said and done.
82 with 10 minutes left, pretty good. It's not bad for the Bearcats. Especially they haven't looked maybe as crisp as, you know, Jared Calhoun would have liked them in this opening showing, but they've been able to get out in transition. They've been able to knock the ball down some. Haven't been great at the free throw line, but everything else going pretty well.
Hastings turns, and a kiss off the glass for 2. Haven't talked much about Jaden Hastings, but obviously a guy that with his size can score in a multitude of ways and impact the game defensively, although got dunked around that time.
I think the biggest thing with Hastings that I've seen has been his leadership. He's been a vocal guy. He's been a guy that's kind of been able in practice settings to kind of gather the troops and get Jared Calhoun's message across. You never know when you put a new team together who, if anybody, is going to step up into those type of roles. You had an idea that the Utah State guys would because they've been in the system for a year.
Sure.
But those 3 guys are young. And who were the veterans that were going to do that? Jaden Hastings has been a consistent and steady voice in that locker room as they've implemented things this summer.
Okay, Collins knocking down the free throw. Did the team feel like it was missing an MJ Collins before everything came together and got him to Cincinnati?
Yeah, it felt like, you know, like you were putting a car together. You didn't have the steering wheel, right? You had a lot of good. The tires looked good. The engine looked good. The body looked good, but you didn't have a steering wheel. You couldn't drive the car. And MJ Collins feels like he gives you a guy that can drive the car. 17, 18 points a game at Utah State last year. He can score it in the mid-range. He can get to the rim. One of the things this program has missed for the last couple years, they were not a team that did a great job getting to the line. You know, like Jizzle James and Day Thomas were really good free throw shooters. They averaged right at or under 1 free throw attempt a game. That can't happen.
No.
You know, and
Not in the Big 12.
not in the Big 12. You've got to manufacture some points at the line. And MJ Collins is the guy that can get downhill and get to the free throw line with regularity.
Well, the Mountain West, a terrific basketball conference. It's not the Big 12. It's not in the same stratosphere, but you expect a guy like MJ Collins, who had spent time in power conferences previously before Utah State. It's not going to be a huge adjustment for him, and even some of these other guys from Utah State moving up to the Big 12.
And you've got Georgia Tech, Vanderbilt, Wake Forest. Like they were able to, Boston College, they were able to go out and get guys that had power conference experience and bring them in with some other guys like a Travion Carson that you're moving up a level.
The defense, these guys up top have just made life very rough for the Victoria Vikes. Soft touch on a straightaway 3 for Tyler Felt.
That's kind of the Achilles heel for a team that wants to move it via the pass and take a lot of three-pointers. Active hands in the passing lane really throws off that rhythm, and Cincinnati's done a good job of that today.
Hastings three-pointer crawls out.
I don't know if you want him taking a lot of those. You let him take one every now and again, right? If you're wide open, let's not make it a regular habit.
Like a yellow light.
Yeah.
Proceed with caution.
A yellow light that's been yellow for 2 seconds already.
As long as the rest of the intersection looks clear, I mean.
It's fine.
Yeah. Should be, right?
You hope.
As long as you have a steering wheel.
Right?
Final 7 minutes here in what's become a laugher. Miles Colvin. Oh my! What a finish! Cincinnati, they do a midnight madness because Miles Colvin's going to take that thing over if they do.
They haven't done one in a long time. I don't know if you might not be old enough to remember, but Cincinnati was one of the original Midnight Madness teams with Dick Vitale on campus for Midnight Madness under the Bob Huggins regime.
Oh, everybody wants to get in on the dunk show down in the Bahamas. Elamine throws it down off the feed from Collins. And Victoria will mercifully stop play here with 6:16 left. Lots to put on the highlight reel for the Bearcats. Up 94-49. 94-49, all Cincinnati all the time here at the Baha Mar Hoops Summer League. First of 2 exhibitions for the Bearcats. And they'll play again tomorrow afternoon after they initially had their exhibition debut set for Sunday. So
what a trick that was.
You were talking with Tylen Riley about it. We need more background on where Cincinnati touched before they touched down here.
So the original, they had 3 different flights. One had the administrators, the big shots, Jared Calhoun, John Cunningham, Brad Pye, and me. Like the big shots were on the first plane.
Obviously. You didn't even have to say yourself.
Right. Coaches and support staff on the second plane mostly. Third plane players. Third plane goes to Chicago. They're on their way to Chicago. Thunderstorm delays them in Cincinnati. They're late to Chicago and miss the flight.
Yeah, you don't want to get stuck in Chicago.
So then they go through everything, and the travel plans say, well, we can get out of Houston tomorrow morning. So let's get to Houston. Well, they couldn't get directly to Houston. They had to go to Tulsa, and then Tulsa to Houston. So Cincinnati, Chicago, Tulsa, Houston. They spend the night. They get up bright and early on Sunday to get here. Storm again in Houston. They were on the runway, getting ready to take off when the storm hit. They had to come back, deplane, sit in Houston for 4 more hours. Finally, around noon, they got out of Houston, but the storm was in the Gulf, so they had to fly around the storm. It took them 5 hours to fly from Houston to the Bahamas. And then Sunday at 5 o'clock, they got here. They were supposed to play Sunday at 2:30. But they didn't get here until Sunday at 5.
Well, they gave me the day off Sunday, so.
I mean, it was nice for you. I got a beach day. Had a great day Sunday. I didn't mind. Now we just got to work tomorrow. It's okay.
That's fine. It was already on the docket anyway.
Exactly.
Just throw an extra game on the slate. I will say, I find it very interesting that from Chicago, it was easier to get to Tulsa than directly to Houston.
I agree.
That's an interesting one.
I don't know what happened. Luckily, I was not in charge of figuring, and some of it might have also been. I think there was 20-plus people in that group. It's not a lot of planes that just have 20-plus seats available. So I think that played a big part in it as well.
You know what that sounds like? A Dobo's nightmare.
Yeah.
Dobo meaning director of basketball operations.
They changed. That's like chief of staff now.
Yeah,
I think is
it's a more appropriate title. Dobo doesn't sound worthy enough for all that those guys have to do.
Those poor guys. I feel bad for some of those. Could you imagine being an ops guy for Mick Cronin? Trying to figure out.
It's intimidating enough interviewing the guy.
Right.
Perryman punches it through.
My first year on the beat, Mick was here. It was his first year as head coach of Cincinnati. So I was the guy that got beat up on after losses because I was the new guy in the press conferences asking questions. So then finally, after a couple years, I learned of being stubborn. I learned my lesson. You just shut up after a loss. You just you maybe get the first question, what went wrong? You give him the softball and then you get out of the way because as you've seen after most UCLA losses, Mick's ready to go
Mick's
off
going
on
viral.
somebody.
Yeah, Mick's going viral after a lot of those losses.
I got tired of it being me, so I just quit asking questions after losses.
Free throws here for Cam Slaymaker of the Victoria Vikes. Cincinnati still shooting north of 50% for the game.
Hey, we're back.
We are. We have statistics available to us again. Smid cuts the lead to 48.
He's had a rough for a very good player, he hasn't had a lot of clean opportunities against this Cincinnati defense. There we go. Deshaun Vaden. Let's get back to that.
Deshaun Vaden. Segue.
So, Mike Fulline, who was an assistant for Cincinnati, worked with Jared Calhoun at Fairmont State when Calhoun was coming up the ranks, D2 head coach. Fueline went to, he's at Mount Union when Calhoun gets the Cincinnati job. Calhoun brings him on here. Well, he has this kid that's only played basketball for 3 years that he can get to transfer to Cincinnati, Deshaun Vaden. He played 15 minutes or so a game last year for Mount Union. He averaged over 3 blocks a game.
Division III.
Division III. Total lottery ticket. He's probably a practice guy long term.
We're going to pick this up after our final stoppage here, but we'll hear more about that rise from D3 to the Big 12 with 3:41 to play. .341 left in a lopsided contest featuring the Cincinnati Bearcats down here at the Baha Mar Hoops Summer League. Chris Sylvester, Chad Brendel from BearcatJournal.com. Appreciate you jumping on with us.
Happy to be here.
Deshaun Vaden, you were talking about the kind of lottery ticket, Cincinnati kind of took on the kid.
Well, one of the things that's really difficult, worst case scenario, he's going to be as good of a big man practice player as you'll see in the country. It's just very hard to find guys with any level of size that can help you in practice. But he's only been playing basketball for 4 years now. He's still learning the game. It's still very new to him. There's a chance he becomes a guy that might be able to be a part of your rotation. He's got to get stronger. He's still got to continue developing. But, guys like that don't grow on trees. He's almost 7 foot, huge wingspan, just a freak physically. And like I said, worst case, you get a practice player that can help out your bigs immensely.
There's certain types of size, athleticism that you can't teach. And how many times in recent memory have we heard of a guy that
a late bloomer
started playing basketball late? And you think of Giannis, who's one of the best players in the world, who only started playing hoops a few years before he was drafted.
Yeah. I'm now are we comparing Deshaun Vaden to
no,
Giannis?
But that's just an example of a guy that can bud.
Even big men that start early, because their bodies change so much, they can take a while to develop. So it's going to be fun watching Deshaun Vaden to see long term, can he become a guy that can help Cincinnati?
Vaden getting some floor time here late in the game. Travion Carson has knocked down a pair of threes here in the second half.
That's my guy. You talk about guys that I just love watching play. Like I said in the first half, Travion Carson is one of those guys. He's a dog defensively. There's Vaden. Oh, I don't know.
It's Summer League. You got to give him the block there.
You're up 49. You got to let him have that block. But you can tell the athleticism is there with Vaden. The length is there with Vaden.
He timed that perfectly. To me, that's a coin flip call to make.
Yes. I haven't complained about the refs the entire time today. I guess I won't start now, but I give myself the liberty to revisit tomorrow.
Yeah. Well, especially if it affects the departure time at all.
Well, I'm here till Thursday, so I'm good on that one.
Vaden has the rebound ripped away by Alan Spack. 2:20 left. The George Mason transfer dishes to the corner. Derbyshire left the runner short.
It would have been hilarious if they would have been able to get Derbyshire like a point last year. Because as it stands, they returned no points from last season. If they would have returned one, I think that just would have been peak basketball hilarity. Returning points from last season, one.
Perryman, how about the crossover and the finish? Maybe didn't sky high enough to throw it down, but it counts as 2 nonetheless.
He wanted to. The go-go gadget arms, just they were short about an inch and a half.
Like that Vaden is taking on the challenge of picking up these shooters on the perimeter and clearly shielded Torrin Franklin's view that time.
From what I was told, these kids come in on these visits when they're transfers and they work out so the coaching staff can get a good feel. I'm told of all these guys, Vaden had the best workout. Now that might have also been because they were like, this is a guy coming from D3 that's only been playing basketball. There's those points there's the Derbyshire points.
I'm gonna take over on Derbyshire season points this year. I'm gonna say he gets more than a few.
Well, it depends. What are we setting the over under at? 5.5
for the entire season?
Yeah.
I'll take that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think Cincinnati is going to dominate some bye games.
I think you're right there.
And there's no reason why he shouldn't
Hit
be
a
on
three
the floor
here
for
and
the
there,
final
yeah.
few minutes. That's just 2 threes. I mean, easier said than done. But that's fair. I like the 5.5.
He had a big showing today in shoot-around. In walkthrough, they had a closer to walk through, and it was 5 threes for Derbyshire against 5 free throws for associate AD for basketball, Brad Pike. Derbyshire made 3 threes. Pike made 2 free throws. The staff, including Calhoun, had to run, had to do an up-back.
Well, Cincinnati impressive in its Baha Mar Hoops Summer League debut, 110-63 over the Victoria Vikes in the unofficial debut for Jared Calhoun as Bearcat head coach. Chad Brendel joining us from BearcatJournal.com. Appreciate you so much, my friend. Let's do it again tomorrow.
I'll be here. Let's do it.
All right, more coverage comes your way at 5 o'clock Eastern. It's Texas A&M against Toros de Valle from the Colombia ranks. And we'll talk to you then.